Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TakkCafe semi-final number 2. This time it's turn of Lecastete taking on Soldier. We see Tet spawning to the north of the map in the colour red, playing as France. Soldier playing as Lecastete, spawning into the south of the map in the colour blue. So France versus Lecastete, game number 1. We see Soldier's Explorer. I'm lame Sumi, moving to the east side of the map. 60 XP, 2 Coyotes. The Coyotes have 10 XP as well. They provide so much XP for how easily they're worth, how easy they are to pick off. And that's a great treasure for Soldier to kick himself off the game, speed up his age 1 shipments. And 75 food again for the Sioux Explorer is actually quite easy for him to take. He may just turn around and get that. Did he scout it? He did scout it, but I think he may want to wait for his recharge. And he just wants to scout more on Lecastete's side map first. Lecastete going for his own trading post, and on this map, how the trade route wiggles around, I think he thought this trade post may not be secure if he went for it, and so he went for the safe one on the far left of the map. And yes, he will get the pass, and he will get his shipment to send. And yeah, that was basically just the amount of XP he needs to send his shipment, and he's sending his shipment in about 1 minute 15. A really, really good start there for the French player on this map, and that is, doing his homework, picking a map with picking a Sib which can utilise the early trading post, getting lucky on the northern spawn as well. That does help. And his opponent, not having a trading post civilization in age 1 because they removed the wood crates. That was an easy pickup there for the Lecastete. No contention. Does see 75 coin though, and going to walk away from that. Does Lecastete know anything else? He's scouting out behind his base. He sees in his base a coin treasure, 20 coin, 55 coin. Oh, so much coin available. And the same treasures that Maito had to start off his game as Dutch in the previous semi-final series. Looks to be going for the 12-10 age up here. 200 food to gather of idle time, but it shouldn't take too long. But the tempo he gets with that early trading post as well, I think this should be worth it for Lecastete. He's going to click up an age at 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Soldier taking down a couple of Jaguars, picking up his own pet Jaguar, Jenny the pet Jaguar. Although the name's cute, the animal is certainly not a vicious animal. It can certainly put a lot of pressure on. It does have the negative multiplier versus villagers, so I'm sure if Lecastete chose to go forward here, that Jaguar wouldn't be enough to pressure that forward CDB. But yeah, you wouldn't likely go forward in this matchup anyway. Outlaw Pistolero, Lecastete Explorer, 3 Coyotes. That's easy pickings there for Soldier. Last time we saw this matchup, we did see it was Maito versus Kevin, I think it was. We did see Maito go for a CDB villager pool across the map with musketeer crossbow aggression in age 2, and just basically pulled everything and everyone across the map. Let's check Lecastete's deck to see if he does have those similar cards. Well, he has Wilderness Warfare, but no Pioneers in age 1, so I'm not expecting to see a villager pool of some sorts here from Lecastete, but Wilderness Warfare gives him the opportunity to use his CDB in combat a little bit more effectively if he does choose to send that card. Soldier looking to get onto the train line himself. Will build a trading post, and I think, given where the trading post is, that's probably the best trading post he can pick up, because if he tried to build it here, I think he would miss the pass, and also would have to deal with the French Explorer at the same time. Right, Soldier still advancing up at the moment. He's aging up here with the Chief. That should provide him 400 wood on the age up. So let's count with myself. What's he going to spend the wood on? He's got 200 in the bank, plus the 400, so 600. Stable. Another second trading post. You have 200 remaining left over. Could that be a War Hut in base defensive? So War Hut's stable, second trading post. Could there be a market? Soldiers dropping down a War Hut. This could be infantry units as well at the same time. So maybe a War Club so you can test the trading line. A lot of wood has been chopped here from Soldier. I'd be interested to see how he's going to spend that. Meanwhile, Lecastete musketeer defense from the single barracks on the age up. So Relaxu houses would have the wood chopped in transition for steel traps. Second shipment coming in, likely to be 700 wood. There we go. And just playing some standard French here. Not going aggressive here with Hussars versus Lecastete. You don't often do Hussars. Market Warheart, no stable as of yet, and no second trading post. But a nice little army he's acquiring here, converting another pistolero to his cause, and also recovering a rifleman. It's a nice kind of touch to go with it. Explorer walking past, and that's not what he wants to see. Will crack shot one of the outlaws. That's a good use of that crack shot. These guys do 40 range damage per shot versus non-villager units, so very strong versus military units. We've got 5 musks across the map. We'll pick off the scouts, which doesn't go into cover mode in time, or stealth mode. But I think these musketeers want to just sit in base, and if anything, if Lecastete can get away with like a 10 musketeer semi, I think he'll be very happy with the opening. Sim saying, is it worth as Lecastete to ship 4 vills into 3 vills while in H1? I don't think the Lecastete civilization even have 3 vills. I think the 3 vill was just changed to the 4 vill card. So there's only 1 villager card in H1. But if there was 2 villager cards, I think, yeah, possibly. If you go for the early trading post and maybe find some early experience treasures, then yes, that could work out if it was a possibility. But it's not due to reasons just said. 5 villagers into 6 Seaton bows while trading clubs here from Soldier. I don't know. The thing is, his war hut's been thrown in base, and I know he couldn't build that war hut forward because of how early Lecastete aged up with the 1210. But Soldier's been in base, but infantry colonial playstyle, while having to cross the entire map, and Arizona's a big map. It's not a short map like Korea. It takes time to move everywhere. And I think Lecastete will be quite happy how this has gone. Being scouted out by the rifleman and the outlaw pistolero, I don't think Lecastete should be moving any further. He's been scouted. Reinforcements are on his way to cut these units off. He's going to turn back on the rifleman, try and pick this unit off. But here come the Teton bows, though. Very good versus the musketeers. They do 30 damage per attack with a very high rate of fire. As long as these guys stand and fire, they do so much damage. So you just need to get in and just then move and just not micro. Once the setup animation is gone, they fire so quickly. There's the second shots. The third shot's in quite close behind. And yeah, these clubs can just go into cover mode, but engage the musketeers just to pin him down. And you see the bows should cut these guys down very quickly. 3 hussars from Lecastete. Lecastete sending 3 hussars. The war clubs are pinned down by musketeers, and the hussars are on the bowmen. This is great for Lecastete. 4 axe riders in reply here from Soldier. So overall, Soldier should take this trade. But I feel that Lecastete could be able to age up behind this and has basically done enough damage to the Lecastete age 2 play that when he does push into the town centre of the French player, that it's just not enough to really worry him. Coin has been sent behind from Soldier. We do have the stable now thrown down in the back line. Is he going to go into Bow Riders or age up behind this? I think it looks like it's going to be some sort of semi-FF behind this aggression. Yeah, he did pick off that trading post on the far west of the map. Now raiding in with 5 Axe Riders, 1 Explorer. SD Pesty dropping the subscription there. Thank you very much. Yeah, good to see that. Getting stuck behind a tree. I wonder if they could even physically get stuck, but he's raiding behind. But I think Lecastete knows exactly where those units are. Trying to hide away from the town centre. I guess it's cute, but yeah, Lecastete knew where they were. He certainly knew they were coming from the left-hand side, so it's not a surprise from him. But the Egypt's coming behind this. A little bit of hers in here now shouldn't be too bad. He's actually researching Blunderbuss in transition. He might cancel it, but it's just there for him to use if he needs to. Extra 3 damage on the hand attack and extra 3 on the range, which is very strong and just really nice upgrade. And I know that Lecastete uses this upgrade far more than other players do, and I think more players should be using this upgrade than they actually do. Nice pick up on the Axe Riders though. Soldier will not be happy to lose another Axe Rider basically for free versus Archaic Infantry, and that's just 1 less Axe Rider to upgrade to Elite as he advances to the 3rd age. Soldier, first card is going to be the Wakina Rifles, training a batch of 5 Wakinas to go with it, so 14 Wakina opening. Yeah, Wakinas are not great versus skirmisher units of France and other European civilizations. Let's check his deck. He's got the 14 Wakina rifle card, 20% HP as well. Double rifle riders, 5 axe and 3 dogs with cav combat. I'm not too sure we've seen the 4 rifle riders cards versus France this game. I think France would likely be going, or should I say the French civilization should be going more of a skirm goon play versus Lecastete, or maybe skirm crassier is also a possibility. It depends. I think skirm goon's safe, and we do see a couple dragoons out on the field for Lecastete already. Train more dragoons. First shipment on the floor was the 5 goons, so yeah. Oh, the 5 goons across the map already. Yeah, and Seaton was going to be picked off there, so nice pick off there from Lecastete. Wakina's across in the map. 9 Wakinas behind this as well. But the dragoons, they don't have to stand and fight. He's going to see these axe riders, pull the dragoons across, pick off the axes, and get out of here. No need to fight these skirmisher units. They're doing so much damage to your ranged cavalry. 20 attack there with the 2 multipliers. Low HP. Somewhat decent trade there. Managed to pull out before taking any more losses. But the axe riders on the skirmisher reinforcements. Oh, no, get out of there. But only losing 1 skirmisher because Soldier knew that dragoons were reinforcing that position as he got out of there. The pikeman goes down, the trading post lives, and both players are continuing their Mexican standoff on Mexico. This is actually called Mexico, isn't it? Like, for a second I was thinking, like, yeah, this is called Arizona, but no, this is the Mexican map. So it's fitting that we have a Mexican standoff. And here is the Crassier switch. Low numbers of skirmishers here from Lecastete. Lecastete thinking, okay, I'm just going to go Dragoon, Crassier, maybe send cav combat behind this. But what will Soldier have to deal with this? Not a lot. He's going Axe Rider, Skirmishers. So like a very similar composition to the German Ulan Skirmisher composition. But I think the Crassier Dragoon should be enough to kind of do really well. Enough Dragoons here to one-shot these villagers without their greatcoats or their spirit medicine, going down to 1 Dragoon volley apiece. Those Axe Riders are pushing across the map though. I mean, you need the Axe Riders to snare the Dragoons, I guess, and let the Wakinas kill, but where are these axes going? They're on a wild goose chase. They're trying to get a miracle raid, but all the villagers are forward. The Dragoons are still alive, but getting cut off by the Wakina rifles. This could be time that Lecastete does the U-turn and get out of there. But does Lecastete know where this cavalry is? He sees where the skirmishers are. He might lose 1 or 2 here. Okay, he's going to take a full volley and get out of there. But okay, he now sees the cavalry as well, but he knows he can get away to the top with the Dragoons. This could be a moment where he loses Dragoons to the trading post. We were on the previous patch, remember. But here's another batch of Crassiers. 3 Crassiers onto the Wakina rifles. The Dragoons are going to turn right in on this fight, reinforcing heavy cavalry as well. I think we're going to see a big fight here. 7 veteran Crassiers on top of these elite Wakina rifles, a couple of elite Axe Riders. I don't think there's enough hand cavalry here to deal with this. More skirmisher reinforcements here from the Lecastete player. We've got anti-cavalry and heavy cavalry versus just heavy cavalry and skirmisher. And all the hand cavalry from Lecastete's nearly gone down. A good micro there from Soldier, picking up the Dragoons. Most Dragoons have gone down, but no answer versus these heavy cavalry and having to go into spread formation to reduce the damage taken by these cavalry units. Hazard calling the GG, but GG for whom, Hazard, I may ask? Is it GG for Lecastete or GG for Soldier? At the moment, you would argue that Soldier's in a bit of a difficult situation here, but let's look at his reinforcements. Got more Wakinas being trained, Axe Riders, and sending dog soldiers behind this. Somewhat decent eco, does have that trading post to help his momentum. Whereas, you know, Lecastete, if he's sending skirmishers, could get cleaned up by some dogs, you never know. A lot of Dragoons have gone down in this fight as well. And Lecastete has basically lost his magical Crassier switch. Options available for both players. And as the game goes on, the Lecastete dog soldier big button just gets more and more scary, more and more prominence. And at 13 minutes, maybe Soldier could be looking to go for that big button in 2 minutes' time. Cut production from Wakinas. Cut axe production. He's got 30 villagers on food as well. Actually, a lot of food still nearby his villagers as well. So he could be actually gathering that really cost effectively. And that could be a bit of a timing he wants to hit. Training more Wakinas for the time being. Dragoons getting rather close to skirmishers there. Could have lost a single Dragoon at that point. And yeah, Tet's actually backing off. He's giving the Lecastete player a bit of time. I think Lecastete's probably looking to try and send Cav Combat from this card. He's got more Dragoons than Q. What would he send? He could send Falconets, but versus Lecastete, yeah, Wakina's low HP. Don't really need much siege versus them anyway. And here comes the Cavalry Combat. And once these guys come in, that's going to buff the Dragoons and the Cuirassiers. And yeah, that could be the time he wants to push, is on that upgrade. But he does have enough Dragoons here, but a big Cav batch here from Lecastete, from Soldier, and a little bit of sloppy micro could spell disaster quite quickly. So I wouldn't count your chickens just yet. The game is not over, not by a long shot. Batch of elite axes. A couple of villagers going down into the skirmisher line there. Soldier not really having the response. These skirmishers less range. Okay, here comes 5 rifle riders. I suppose a shipment's got to be sent at some point. Maybe having 4 axe riders in deck could have been better. These rifle riders, unfortunately, they really do not help this army at this point. Maybe going to try and fend off any Cuirassier switch from Lecastete. And yeah, Cuirassiers will do very well versus army composition anyway, but rifle riders having very low damage versus Dragoons and skirmishers. The Wakina line is getting melted here by the skirmisher play. 500 food in stockpile for the Lecastete player. Looks to be spending his resources on axe riders instead of trying to stockpile for the dog soldier big button. One Cuirassier get on top of the line with Wakina rifle, absorbing quite a bit of damage. Hand cavalry being baited forward, trying to go for the snare on top of the Dragoons. Decent micro though, focusing down the Dragoons one by one. Villagers moving forward to try and get onto the hunt. And actually, in terms of skirmisher count, we have 13 skirmishers here versus Lecastete's 9 with 5 reinforcements. Actually, it's somewhat in favour of Soldier in terms of skirmisher count. Kind of baits the Dragoons in. Is the cavalry going to go in and go for the Zed move? You're going to try and do it now. There's just enough Dragoons here to push back this cavalry play of Soldier. What reinforcements does Soldier have? He needs some reinforcements across the map. 5 axe riders, and that's it. Another shipment coming in. 4 rifle riders. Yeah, even Cav Combat in that previous fight to buff the 3 dogs, 5 axes HP. That could have been something. Unfortunately, rifle is just really not the unit for the job there. The GG's been called. Lecastete taking the first game, 1-0. That early engagements in the second age, Musketeers from Lecastete did push forward, and the 3 Hussar play, a bit of a big brain play there from Lecastete. I wouldn't have thought of that at all. Managed to pick off enough of the Soldier's units so we can safely age behind, and that Soldier couldn't really push in with what he had. And that allowed the French player to get up earlier, get a mass of Dragoons, and those 10 Dragoons early were so pivotal, didn't really lose too many, had the presence on the map, could dictate where he wanted to engage, not engage, and put pressure. That first engagement, a bit of a even trade. I feel like Soldier, for the situation of being caught out with Cuirassiers on his Wakinas, somehow managed to pick off enough units for it to be not terrible, but the follow-up from himself wasn't ideal, already burning through the power cards that he had in that age. Honestly, hear me out, he could have sent 1,000 food from the home city, gathered it up, and call big buttons for a 15-minute timing, and then maybe send Cav Combats instead of going for the Rifle Rider play. The Lecastete was always backing out at that point, and the food crates quite quick to gather up. That's a big button tech, quite quick to send as well, so always the option there for some strong, heavy, tanky, heavy cavalry as well. That's the main point of the dog soldiers, that they're very tanky, high HP, decent range resist, and that could have been Soldier's winning ticket into this one. But it was not to be. Maybe next time. Right, we're going to game number 2. Soldier versus Lecastete. Game number 2. It's best of 7. Tournament proudly sponsored by TakkCafe. If you guys are watching on YouTube, check below in the description. If you guys are here, go into your chat and type in !TAK like I've just done there. This event is generously sponsored by TakkCafe, an app that helps cafes and coffee shops improve the experience of their customers. Go check out TakkCafe for further information on how they can help your favourite local coffee shops now. Right, British versus the Dutch on Malaysia. It looks to be the matchup here. So it looks like Lecastete obviously winning the last game, picking the Dutch civilization on this map. Soldier countering with the British pick. The hunt spawns are fair and even. However, I think Soldier will be a little bit disappointed in base hunt here. This is the second hunt. And this is the third hunt. Fourth and fifth on the side. So you can say that these are two neutral positions for both players. But a low hunt map here on Malaysia. Double safe coin mines. Livestock pen with, two scouts. I think this is a great spawn for Dutch, and Soldier would be a little bit disappointed if you look back at this map spawn. Got Dutch on the south side here with Explorer. Going to pick up the wood treasure, pick up a couple of yaks. Meanwhile, the Envoy on the north side of the map as well, picking up the water buffaloes, pardon me, not yaks, but basically the same thing. So Envoy scouting top side, Explorer scouting the south side. Normally I'd encourage Envoy and scouts sticking close, helping each other with the treasure gathering and scouting, but when there's livestock on the field, the Envoy is just really good at picking up this extra livestock pen. These extra livestock on the map and taking a... I would count with the select all units, but the hotkeys currently being changed. I need to sort that out on my profile. Hopefully not my hotkey on the second profile is gone as well, because that would be quite frustrating. I should have saved a file somewhere to back up in case. Anyway, though, it looks like Lecastete's probably about a decent six water buffalo. There's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 3 there. Yeah, it's just 6, and Soldier's probably about 3, 4. It picks this one to be number 4, so 6 to 4 for the time being. Not too bad. Let's check in Lecastete. He's going for the 15 village up at the moment. 20 coin, 20 XP nearby. 80 wood treasure outside his base. I'm sure Lecastete has scouted that. Does see it. There's also a couple coin treasures nearby. Another 20 XP, 20 coin. Is this another 20 XP, 20 coin? I don't know. The treasure's been taken. But a little bit of coin treasures here to help out. 90 food, 40 food, 80 coin. I think Lecastete's going to try and pivot around for this 80 wood. And yeah, that's the 7th water buffalo. But Lecastete's picked up. Aging up, no idle time here. Already got 95 wood from other treasures so far. Soldier also sniffing around for this treasure. We'll bump into Lecastete. Both players not losing a single HP at the moment. Not often you see players not losing any HP in the Age 1 treasures, but mind their own business, picking up tier 1 treasures here and there. But I think both players are going to force each other to not go for that wood treasure. Soldier going for the crack shots here onto the food treasure. That's going to allow Lecastete to get the snare on. Envoy should be nearby, but actually picking up a back water buffalo. So that's the 8th water buffalo. And these are cows, so a livestock pen could really, really work for Lecastete if he can squeeze it into his build at some point. One settler moving to the north side. Oh, this really is a stinker of a map spawn for Soldier. I feel a little bit sorry for this. You just look at it and go, oh, that's not ideal, but 330, where's that bank coming down? Just a little bit short on the food there, but apart from that, a decent split of resources. He's got the all the wood needs. Going to throw down the bank. 4 villagers. Need to get some villagers on the coin, though. Don't need food now. 2 across, 3, 4. He's got that transition coming along. And as soon as that bank gets built, the sooner the coin in comes for you. And the sooner you can get the villagers in progression. Soldier advancing before the Dutch player. Not often you see that. Gone with the huge crates of food. So he's aged up with food here. So some would say probably the more greedier option. But versus Dutch, I think that's absolutely fine. Instead of the outpost and 200 coin. Side proxy stable. I see if Soldier was building some houses on the side, but it looks like he's going for the side stable build. See, Lecastete here in base trying to scout it. And if I was dropping down a stable, I'd probably drop the stable right here. and the envoy would scout it and know it's coming. But Soldier, he's on another tier of big brain plays, trying to go for the side stable, trying to be annoying, and trying to catch Lecastete being a little bit greedy. Okay, so the bank's come down on the age up wood from Lecastete, 700 wood, about to hit the floor. And once that bank gets completed, we'll have the XP to send to the bank wagon behind us. I think the standard build is coming out. Maybe with voice extra livestock, you'd be tempted to go 600 wood, so that you have that extra wood to go for the livestock pen at some point without having to delay that. Those Hussars are nearly out on the field here from Soldier. 5 in queue. Big batch going to come out. Stable's been thrown down, but I like how even not scouting any military buildings or under any pressure, building a crucial building like the stable with 2 villagers. Yeah, the more HP you can get this, the better. 5 Hussars come in, and I think this stable may go up. He's trying to build it with the 4 villagers. He's really wanting to get this done. One explorer going to try and snare this settler, and I think losing 1 settler here for the stable is probably a fine trade, because otherwise you'd be in trouble. Actually, this bank though, that's a bit of an iffy. That's a bit of a oopsie moment. That's a big block there. Oh my god, DE power. This is a huge block. Another villager going down and denying the bank. 2 vills so far from Soldier's proxy stable. And if he picks off this bank, oh my god, if he picks off the bank, that's actually going to put him right back into this game and in the lead, definitely. Those villagers, they're trying to do something. At this point, Lecastete, I think he needs Minutemen. You cannot let this bank go down. You cannot let the bank get siege. Those vills, I thought they were going to get down then. But if he goes Minutemen, he knows to be very housed. But more Hussars coming from the side. That bank's gone. That bank is gone. He's calling Minutemen now, but that bank's gone too much. Minutemen do more damage versus cavalry in hand combat. Does he know this? He's closing in. But the Hussars are wrapping from the southern side to siege. He's just going to commit for the siege here. That's a huge pickup. That's a huge pickup. My god. Damn. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So all I can say is wow. And you'd have to say that Brit is in a pretty comfortable position here. Low mana count, but we'll be sending 600 wood behind us to get some manas down. Lots of wood available to mana boom and throw down some extra houses. Wants to try and get on another hunt though before he does that. I feel like Lecastete's lucky that he's got all his water buffalo to bounce his economy off of after losing this extra bank. May need to be sending like a 700 coin to get up, but he's only going to send 8 pikes because he knows there's Hussars in the field, and it's always going to train more. He loves his Hussar play. He loves this kind of raiding play style. Minutemen staying by, trying to keep these guys company. I think Lecastete's going to try and get some villagers on this coin mine to bait the Hussars to stay around. Soldier must know that the pikemen are coming at some point. But there's no bait here. There's no bait. Gets a good pop, though. That's a decent pop. Tries to split off a couple of pikes to chase these guys, but they're already gone. And picking off 3 Huss with that surprise pop is as good as he hoped. Oh, those Huss nearly popped on top as well. Actually, someone still gets the snare. The snare is on the Huss. These guys are going down. Pull trick, pull trick, pull trick. Try to pull 1, pull 2. But still the snare. Oh, it's such a battle of micro here. He's actually going to try and get the third in the group. And the pull trick's gone off. Keeping both those Hussars alive. Fair play. That is some decent unit micro there from Soldier, if I may say so. Villager never escaped from the stable, so that's going to go down to the 2 Hussars. I'm sure Lecastete sees it. Yeah, he sees it now. And it's going to go. Stable goes down, but if the pikemen are out to play, or if the pikemen are away, the Hussars come out to play. Actually going to try and do the pikemen with musketeer Hussars and try and protect his stable, but I think the stable's going down now. Yeah, but actually no, the musketeers onto the pikemen. That's a decent pickup here. Soldier trying to keep these Hussars a bit busy. Yeah, Soldier was undecided if he wanted to deal with the pikemen or deal with the Hussars, and kind of got the best of, well, the worst of both worlds at the moment. Only 4 pikes to the pikemen here. Does a double batch of musketeers coming in. Soldier staying H2 at the moment. Lecastete, he doesn't know what he wants to do. Probably needs to send 700 coin at the moment. Doesn't have 700 food. Has 2 caravels. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The blind caravel pop because you're assuming your opponent's on water. But it's just, you know, crate eco and just, this is where the ecos come from. Oh no. And if anything, if Lecastete had 700 food, he may be tempted to sense that instead and gathered the coin and maybe sold off any excess to get the age up in. But the 2 caravels here, it's not what he needs. Interesting, he's got the Harquebusiers in his deck over the 1 frigate. So he has the 3 floats, that is the S tier water cards. I'm glad he's got that. Maybe it's defensive caravels just to try and like gather near the coastline, the wood, the coin on the southern side. Okay, he's cancelled that at least and gone for the wood. Okay, panic over, but still 20 villagers in the town centre. Minutemen have gone, he's thrown up the barracks. This is tough. Soldier's playing so well. He's played it so well. Because recently I have been enlightened in this matchup as the Dutch. Previously I thought this was a very tough matchup for the Dutch. But the master of the meta himself, H, once said, halberdiers are just so strong versus the British player. And once I've tested out a bit of halberdier playing in the 3rd age with infantry combat, he's so right. There's no real way that the British player can deal with halberdiers with infantry combat. But that's in the 3rd age, and Lecastete needs to get to the 3rd age to utilise that potential matchup advantage. Howe's not training any villagers, got 1 house being thrown down there, Hunting Dog's coming in. He's now starting to eat the water buffaloes because he needs to get up at this point. The wood has come in, which he will use at some point. That's a full batch of 5 skirms. That's going to delay the age up again. He has to send... Well, he doesn't have to send anything, but it feels like he should be... It feels like he may want to send 700 coin and train another batch of skirms and age up with the coin there. Pushing out 5 skirm, 7 pikes. Well, Soldier, once again, no great coats. This actually could be a nice pickup there for Lecastete. It won't obviously kill everything, but even picking up 1 villager, or maybe forcing the Musk response, picking up 1 musketeer. 5 skirmishers do 1-shot a musketeer, but do not lose a skirmisher. Then you lose that 1-shot advantage. So yeah, it's 15 times by 230, 5 of these. There's 150, perfectly 1-shot kills a musketeer. Hussar raid in the back line of Soldier's base, forcing a lot of musketeers in defence here. Soldier is aging up behind this. Lecastete only on 3 banks, remember, he lost a bank to the Hussars. Yeah, repeat that, lost a bank to the Hussars, not often you see that. And longbows are starting to come out from the Soldier. And yeah, he's going to try and go, maybe get a vet longbow dragoon. Yeah, the fact that Soldier can defend this forward hunt is a pretty bad sign there for Lecastete, but he should be able to get a shipment going in the next stage. He could go for the really early Harquebusiers with their ranged pistol attack. So, ranged pistol attack to kill the musketeers and then go into hand combat to slice apart longbows, and a Harquebusier should be able to 1-hit kill a longbow. Yeah, just imagine that, just like as soon as the Harquebusier touches the longbow dies. Such an interesting kind of like unit matchup there. I really like seeing this card in the deck. It's not often you can send a card like that, but each Dutch deck usually has 1 spare space in the 3rd age where you're thinking, do I need this card? Not really, possibly, probably not. So he's going to use that. A couple more Hussars, but Longbow's been pushed in from Soldier. Tet really wants to get his veterancy on the Hussars before he takes fights like that. Soldier nearly up though. Train some musketeers, may want to cancel 1 batch just to get one of these veterancy techs in. Not a lot of coin being mined behind this. Needs to get some more coin being mined pretty quickly. Ages up with 7 longbows. Send in 10 longbows as card number 1. No veterancy techs being researched here. Going for the 2nd tier wood gathering. Yeah, Soldier's like a really greedy player. Likes to have like that macro. But enough longbows here, just pushing back the skirmishers. The skirmishers don't want any business of this, and the Lecastete is being pushed back away from this position. Soldier's absolutely fine with his colonial units. He's just going to outmass, outgun, and then get his techs afterwards. Right, bank number 4 has been built for Lecastete, provided an extra bit of XP and the coin income it does provide. Villagers still on no placer mines, don't often need placer mines, that's absolutely fine. These hunters, hunting dogs, no steel traps, but I think that's probably fine. decent splits. Going to get a batch of 5 Reuters, 5 Skirms. Reuters, I suppose, are nice just to cover, but hopefully he doesn't train too many Reuters in this matchup. 1k wood comes in. Has enough food to go for bank number 5, but realistically, I would like to see... How many Hussars does he have? A couple of Hussars topside. They are veteran Hussars. Will wants to have like another two racks, a couple of houses. But Soldier pushing in on the 1k wood. This is, again, gone tough really quickly. Because, you know, a shipment like 1k wood is only useful if it actually spends the wood. A nice skirmisher mass, though, from Lecastete, it has to be said. Nice skirmisher mass. Artillery foundry being thrown down. Here we go. Falconet defense. And that's where the Reuters come in. It makes all sense now. Lecastete massing Reuters to protect Falconets. It has the banks and the coin mines in base to gather. It's double coin mines in base. I know they're tin mines, but still, 3,000 coin for Dutch player to mine is a lot of coin, given that quite a lot of your coin comes from the banks. Safely gathering. The Soldier, he sees the artillery foundry. This artillery switch may not actually work then. Another stable being thrown out from Soldier. Is he going to throw an artillery foundry into Culver in support? I don't think so just yet. He may want to, but I do see a dock being thrown down topside. Couple of pikes sitting on copper mine outside of Soldier's base. I think he got onto that third hunt down here, or if it's not, is one hunt, two. No, that third hunt pushed down to the south. So this hunt here was around this position, so it's gone away from him. But he's out on this top side, making good use of his double hunt up here. Nice tactical transition to the water from Soldier. Does have schooners available if he wanted to send it, but you probably wouldn't want to send schooners at this point, but a rendering plant would have been quite nice to see in that second day rack of cards. But yeah, 2 docks, long lines, yeah, don't need a card invested into the sea for it to make it work. Just the text itself should be enough. Two Falconets being sent, Dragoons being trained behind us, and that's the first batch of Dragoons the Soldier has. Meanwhile, Lecastete opening batch, 3 Falconets, coin miners moving forward onto the copper mine. 2,000 coin being stored in this copper mine to the east as well. Bit of a raid on the east side. One villager trying to go build manor houses down to the south, but the pikemen are on it already. They know how to be annoying. Hussars top side trying to raid. Get this warning signal on the south. Raid the north. Nice little play, but being scouted well. But here comes the Falconets on the longbow mass. Where is the anti-Falconet? There's a big volley there. 6 going down that first volley. Target locked, firing achieved, and a massive one there. 4 kills, not double Falconet shot. I think the other Falconet picked up a longbow, so already about 12 to 14 units going down there for Soldier. Tempo is with Lecastete. I would like him to fire and move these Falconets. Fire and move forward a little bit. Fire and move forward a little bit. Hussars back on the top, raiding the villagers, keeping 3 musks and 4 dragoons busy while pushing middle. 1 Rax has gone down. 2 Falconets are available here for Soldier from the shipment, but 3 beats 2 usually. I mean, in the world of maths it does. But I think Lecastete maybe training a little bit more. 3 pieces behind, especially if you spurred on how well this initial trade's going. But here comes 1 Falconet. Doesn't have the wood for the artillery pieces. Would have a lot of wood now to go into a Hussar switch if he wanted to. Okay, so he's bought a click of wood to go into a culverin. I think he wants to safely kill the Falconets instead of trying to trade them off. He's going to move topside. Hunts are starting to run very low for Soldier here. He is on water, by the way, but it will take a long time for that to happen. Meanwhile, Dutch Eco going strong. All the coin he needs, can really focus on artillery if he wants to change his tactic into that way. Culverin nearly out, 75% completed. Cavalry combat being sent behind this, protecting the Falconets from any cavalry switch. The Falconets are coming across. Do I have my... Oh, I don't have the range. I do have the range. Yeah, look at the range. It's... Both players know when each Falconet is in each other's range, but they aren't just yet waiting for that culverin to come on the field. Culverin's online, 2 culverins to one-shot a falconet. And you see how Lecastete's turned. His attitude's changed. He's going straight back in. He wants to fight now. He wants to pick the fight. And I think the soldier feels that Lecastete wants to fight. He wants to be backing off. Lots of villagers. Strong eco. Does have second tier wood upgrade. Chopping wood 0.65. But 1 dock though won't be enough. A lot of villagers on the berries here. Could put a couple of these guys onto the wood. But the dock player is only supplementary. Southern Dock, the cheek of soldier to try and split his fishing eco, but he does have a couple of villagers down here hunting. Tentative engagement between the falconets of Lecastete. Big raid down to the south, 2 hussars onto the villagers will be annoying. These are they're low HP though. They can get punched down. If soldier sees this, he'll go for it. He's going for it, punching down. No, he's not. He's running. He doesn't see it. Doesn't check. That's unfortunate. Falconets exposed. They're on their own. He's going to try and go in for a volley. He gets a double kill with 1 shot. That's actually quite nice, but the culverins are trying to keep his guys away. Hussar's sneaking in. Reuter's going on top. Skirmisher's going back in. This is the fight I think Soldiers are going to take. He's going to go all in at the moment, but Lecastete there ready to get back on. Meanwhile, okay, those villagers ran away completely. Falconets going to turn their fire into the infantry. Cavalry trying to get on top of the Falconets. They do. Falconets top side getting a little bit close, but the Culverin's still alive to push. Culverin's attacking the manor house, but they should recharge. Okay, good shot there from the Falconets. Firing and getting out of the way of the Culverins. Some good micro there from Soldier. Culverins haven't got a target to fire, so they take down the building. And actually, all the Falcons have gone down. The longbow still stands. The Culverin's doing a good job tanking longbow fire. And they come into range now. But with 1 going down, the second shot should be enough to pick off. Reuter's going in, but they don't need to go in at the moment. They can sit back. And the trade ensures even fight, really. Even fight. I wouldn't say anybody's advantage. And actually, Soldier now established on the water, going into longbow production. Fishing boats, no upgrades just yet. I would be looking to get gill nets at this point. You've already got enough fishing boats for it to be much worthwhile to research. 15%. And especially because you haven't got schooners to increase the train time of the fishing boats. Sell a click of food, and there you go. You got much stronger fish eco. Hazard thinks Dutch wins this. Ooh. Hey, how about here's a bet. If Dutch win this, I would say fair play. If Soldier wins this from this position, I'm timing you out for 10 minutes because can't make a claim like that if it's wrong. We'll have to find out. Scores even. Skirmishers moving forward. A big hussar switch. Okay, wasn't seeing that from Lecastete, and that turns the entire matchup on its head. A couple of muskets going in hand combat here, but not too many hussars defensively from Soldier. It's mainly longbow defense here, and the skirmishers enjoying the musketeers pushing forward to try and defend the hussars. A bit of micro here from Lecastete, pulling the hussars back. A little bit of the dance going on. Musketeers move forward to the front line, but they take up so much damage. Defensive Minutemen being called, but there's still a lot of longbows. There's so much stuff here from Soldier, and what felt to be some good micro there from Lecastete just wasn't enough. There's too much stuff. Another reinforcement batch of cavalry combat veteran hussars here. Even Steven still, and Dutch, and obviously in the British are on the water. If Dutch can sense it, he senses it. He's going to send the 3 floats. Now, Lecastete, you do not need line of sight to drop the plons. He sees that the food's going down. Just move the flag here. Drop it here. You do not need line of sight. Go to the flag. Pick it up. Click the button. And click here. And your floats will spawn a little bit more deeper position. But right on top of the fishing boats. As the element surprise is so important with 3 floats. You get to pick off about 5-6 fishing boats before they even get into a dock. Move that flag. You don't need it right here. And only... Oh, okay, 3 do spawn. Oh... But that should give enough warning for the Soldier to basically run his boats. But it's a single dock though. Oh no. And floats are great versus docks. They resist a building fire. They got a nice amount of damage. Soldier needs to buy time, stall and send a frigate and do something because he's going to lose the entire water eco if he does not do anything. Fishing boats into the dock, but that won't be enough, mate. It won't be enough. Hussar on the south will scout a couple of manor houses. Will he scout the dock? He scouts a dock. But go in. Lecastete, do not fear the dock. You have Floyd's galleons. They resist building fire. Go in, take the dock out, do it. Meanwhile, longbows engaging Reuter Huss. Skirmishers trying to push forward, skirmisher combat, one Culver in here to support, but nothing more doing it behind this. Lecastete really needs more food. He's on some berries, but he needs more hunt, and the only hunt available to him is on the south of the map where the British player is. He's running. Why are you running from the dock? Just shoot the dock. Shoot the dock. Right click the dock. Yes, the dock will not survive. The frigate will. The fleet will survive. You got 3 of these bad boys. Just stay there and take it down. Mill's being thrown down by Soldier, and yes, I think Dutch looking a little bit more safer than they were before, but Free Floyd's just so strong. Outpost trying to protect, but it won't be enough. That Floyd only taking 50 damage per shot. The fishing boats are down. Free Floats are still there. They're all going to go down behind us. That's 75 range resist, but buildings do siege damage, Jerry Muno, and because they're siege trooper, they take 50%. Saying I'm high? Come on, man. Get your Age of Empires 3 knowledge down. Puh. Lacking. Okay, Falconet's turning on. Anger demands are lizards. The skirmishers need to focus. These guys do 10 attack, and Falconet's only have 200. It's actually quite... He needs to react. He still needs to react. There's a lot of HP going down there. But yes, Floats are siege troopers. You learn something new every day. Jeremy, how is a player supposed to know that when it's not in the thingy? Well, if you train a galleon, it says slow, powerful ship resistant to building fire that can train units. Everybody knows that galleons are resistant to building fire. It's part of the game. That they suffer on naval combat, but because you have 3 of them, they can overwhelm and take down a frigate so easily, and that's why the 3 Float card is one of the best cards in the game. It's so strong, and hopefully it never gets nerfed, but it is ridiculously strong. I would quite happily pay 400 coins to send it. It's that strong. Is that a raid south side? Dragoons, 1 Hussar on a Koi mine, not pretty enough raiding. A couple of skirmishers here to defend, but the entire Dutch army underneath the town centre. There's more Falconets here. 4 Falconets. This town centre is going down. There's only the 7 villagers in here. Most of the villagers are down to the south side. You know, eco spread out. This is not. It's not like a Dutch base where all your ecos within the town centre. Villas coming out. The floats are still standing. A couple of fishing boats still alive. But yeah, nice pick up there. Mid-map, longbows pushing across. Musketeers available as well. You're hoping for a little bit more musks as well to back up longbows, protect them from any cavalry play. 1 falconet crossing the map, but will get picked off by the dragoons. Normally that's a huge moment, but I think Lecastete's starting to take off in the Dutch gameplay. I'm going to move back across with his Dutch army. Oh, double kill! I was about to say, like, oh yeah, 1 falconet, it's not great, but actually splits up the fire, picked off 2 longbows there, that's really nice. But big volleys there from the couple of falconets, splash damage. But it's more of the cav combat hussars on top of the longbow here. It's really, really strong. But picking up all those falconets, that was as good as a fight soldier could really hope for. Does he have the eco to back this up? 2 caravels now being sent from Lecastete on the Southern Sea. Now, 2 caravels, they cannot beat a dock with fishing boats in there, so Soldier has the option, but I think Soldier needs some gathering. He can't have them idle. He needs that food to replenish his army on the land. Lecastete making fishing boats of his own on the north side. He knows he's actually cleaned that sea up. Got a float in the dockyard to prepare as well. On Culverin, could just unpack that Senate fort just to tank up all the damage. And Skirmisher and Reuters. Actually, Soldier winning this fight, it seems. And going to push Lecastete back. But how long? All in all, that's a terrible fight for Lecastete, to be honest. And Soldiers on the southern side, established. 52 villagers, though. Yeah, you'd hope for more, because Lecastete's on 49 villagers. And 4 banks, maybe a 5th bank nearby as well. Not possibly, not quite, but he's on the water on the top side. Aussie Drongo repping some new emotes there. I wonder where you got those emotes from. Drongo's found his new favourite streamer. But it explains why he went offline that game, to be honest. That final game, he just couldn't focus afterwards. Okay, so more Falconets this time. Let's look at the longbows in stagger formation. Try to focus these guys down. But Falconets, 75% range resist. Tank just a bit too much. And Soldier calls the GG. Lecastete up 2-0. And H was right. Dutch just win this. And H, I bow down to your knowledge. But yeah, saying that Floyd's, the Floyd's resisting 50% siege damage, 75% range damage. I don't think they resist any melee damage, but you can't really do melee damage to boats because of, the infantry just reverts to a siege attack. I wonder if, does that mean that flights resist like halberdier siege attack as well? That could be an interesting thing to check into. It probably would never matter, but somebody was asking, how much knowledge do you need to have? Okay, was it Ari Storiantino? How many single things do you think you need to know about AoE3? More or less than about 500. And yeah, well, you need to know a lot, but I think it'd be interesting is watching the show match between Viper and Doubt. Both exceptional players in their original game, Age of Empires 2. But when they come across Age of Empires 3, will that magic come with them? Or will they drown in the theory that you need to know to play Age of Empires 3? Be interesting to see. We know that Doubt's played a bit, so I think Doubt is there. Viper is very talented. Maybe he's played a little bit offline. Maybe he's checked a few build orders. We'll have to see. But even in this game, a lot of theory was done to get this. The proxy stable. Lecastete, I think he had time to build his bank, but Soldier with that proxy stable, getting that bank down before it was built, losing an entire bank there. Mainly going to longbows, dealing quite well with the skirmish of Reuter. Lecastete going to Falconets because he knew he had to counter the longbows. Just lots of little tips and tricks you need to know to do very well. But yeah, free floats, very strong shipment, taking down the dock, having mercy on these 4 fishing boats, but certainly picking up at least 10 as well. So a really nice card. I thought Soldier had that. I generally thought Soldier had that. Lecastete was in such big trouble there, but the map came to Lecastete's rescue. If this was a standard map with more hunts, I think Soldier would be fine from that position and could have won that. But we'll move on to the next game very, very shortly afterwards. Villager population, yeah, you can just see how once the fishing boats start getting picked off and villagers having to gather further away from the base. Villagers and town centre going down as well here. Just the eco of the villager population goes down with it. And Lecastete's eco is only ever growing. It's only ever getting bigger. And you can see that in resource discrepancy. Soldier, getting a lot of early extra resources, belling a lot of Lecastete up, but it gets closer and closer. And also the gradients getting more positive there for Lecastete. Bam. Would I say that the Viper and Doubts are 1800 EO players in Age of Empires 3? No, I don't. And I think I want to stand by that. You might not like to hear that, but I don't think they are. Maybe Doubt is like kind of touching that 1700 mark. Doubt is so talented. He's got the macro, he's got the micro. But when you get to that 1700, 1800, you really need to be crisp on the build orders. You really need to have that theory and matchup. Yeah, theory of matchups and how they work as well is when you really go from that level to the next level. I'm sure Viper can tell you everything about every single matchup of all the 30 odd civs in Age of Empires 2, but Age of Empires 3, each civ's more dynamic, so it needs a little bit more intricate thought between how you play from one civ versus another. But You know, Kit, I will bow down to your knowledge. If you are right and they play at more than 1800 level, we will see that on the Sunday on the show match on the EGC channel. Go check it out. I certainly will be checking it out. I mean, that's such a great thing to watch on your birthday. I'm very excited to see that. And it's just a spectacle as well, just to see like two of the greats of another game come over and play our game. It'd be interesting to see how they approach, what things they take over from Age of Empires 2, what new things they may try in Age of Empires 3. We'll see. We will see. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff will be coming. Right. Recorded games. TakkCafe, semi-final number 2. That was game 2, was it? So going to the third game. Let's do it. Oh yes, if they get game knowledge or they focus and learn one civ really, really well, there's no reason why they can't be top 20 players. No reason why they can't be, but it will take a little bit of practice. Let's put it this way, they'll need to play around about 200 games, I reckon, maybe 100, if they're fast learners. There's lots to, because I know, like, previously, the Mister from Age of Titans tried to come over and play. I think he got to about Lieutenant Colonel level and then kind of gave up. I think Viper's played before, but he's played on stream. I remember he was playing like on like RE. He was at like a Master Sergeant level, just going like, oh, what's this unit? It's a musketeer. What does this unit do? I don't know. Oh, it shoots things. Some quite funny stuff. I think Doubt, he must have got to like a major level. Yeah, probably a little bit better than me, with lots of potential to improve as well. That's the important point. But we'll see on the Sunday. Right, matchup here is we're on Florida. We have in Lecastete playing as the Portuguese, spawning into the south of the map in the colour red. Has seen himself a 100 food treasure. Does Lecastete think of going for a 10-10 agenda? You bet he is. Defensive, trading post, 100 food treasure, and will he eat the sheep for a faster age up? I think that would be a wise choice of the sheep to minimise the hour time. He's moving the sheep into position. This sheep will go near these villas. This sheep's gone down as well. Extra 100 food. Lovely start here from the Lecastete. Just what the doctor ordered. Meanwhile, Soldier dropped a forward trading post. Has he got? I think he. Yeah, he got that first pass of experience points, didn't he? Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes on the map you do miss this first pass, dependent on how straight this train post, because this train post starts all the way up here. By the time that train post actually, the traveler gets to this position, that train post has been built. So it is map dependent. It is a bit of RNG whether you actually get this trading post or not, but I think it's more consistent than it's not. So that's good to see. This deer visiting the trading post. Hopefully it's not stuck, because otherwise that would be awkward. And actually, if villagers were gathering this deer, they might try and gather that deer. Soldier's deck, that's a little check. My fish, 3 villagers, first card. No Virginia Company at all. I think Virginia Company in the water deck, it still has its place. I don't play enough British to know whether it is or not, because you can always go water as a transition afterwards. But I suppose versus a Portuguese player who may want to go water, you kind of want to go on water with the Portuguese to contest the water and not allow the Portuguese free access to the water. Hey, looking at Lecastete's deck, 1v1, full of water himself. Schooner's first card. No saving the shipment for the second age. No eco-theory shenanigans. I've seen a lot of players play Portuguese very different at this map. Some players go forward town centre into aggression with 700 food, coin, send in your musketeer crossbow shipments. Some people try and play the more economic theory into spice trade, try and boom on the free market and always extra hunts. It looks like we're going to see a bit of a water play here from Lecastete, going for the water agenda with the card. Dock right in the middle of the map, which is very important, especially as Portuguese, because your town centre can get thrown down here as well, and that locks off this entire portion of the map for the Portuguese. And then by cutting off the sea access here, all this water is yours as well. Even if it's not directly protected, it's still under Portuguese territory, let's say. So interesting to how he play this. First card from Lecastete, 2 caravels. I think Lecastete really wants to hold onto this water. Double dock as well. Usually you'd be sending 700 wood as card number 1. But I think Lecastete just wants to secure this for himself. He sees the dock as well. This has gone so well. This is exactly what Lecastete wants. He wants Soldier to try and go for the water now, because that dock is nearly up. But actually, if a broadside can get onto that dock before it gets completed, a lot of extra bonus damage onto that dock, and all that wood investment would be wasted. He's going to quickly go onto it. But oh, the dancing, the formation dancing. Did you see that? It was as if there was ice skating. There's a lot of lateral movement there from those caravels. Yeah, it didn't look normal. Lecastete forcing the outpost away from the coast as well. You know, Explorer in hand combat. Is there enough range? I don't think. Oh my god, there is enough range. The outpost has gone down. Soldier has lost control of the water. I repeat, Soldier has lost control of the water. Sends in 2 caravels of himself. But there's a town centre here. There's a fishing boat next to a dock as well. Oh, this is looking pretty tough already. Unless Soldier's going for the classic Kid Anxiety 3 caravel rush. He did get the first volleys onto the caravels though, so there is options. Meanwhile, Soldier's getting 135 coin from that treasure. That's a good treasure. Yeah. And now he's fishing. Because why not? His warship's at full HP, and he can't push this. He just can't. Need well, when I say you need galleons, you're not going to be making galleons, are you? I know that you can send 1 galleon in the second age, and yeah, no, I guess you don't really want to send 1 galleon, do you? But it's a niche card at best, I guess. It gives you options in that sense, but see, this is nice. You're going to try and get a snipe on the caravels and retreat and get them repaired, but Lecastete could just chase this down a little bit. A third caravel coming on the water here from Soldier. Explorers in base, scouting no defensive stables. So 3 versus 2. Is Lecastete fighting this? He's only got 2 caravels. Greatcoat's coming in, but no caravel boat. Actually, he's gone past these boats as well. Going to get a broadside off. 200 damage each a piece. That's quite nice, but the broadside has hit the this caravel really hard. 600 damage. Obviously, 3 sets of 2 caravels and a bit of a rogue normal fire. Low HP. That caravel is out of action now. Lecastete sending improved warships, but if anything, he may actually want Team Coastal Defences at this point, but he doesn't have it in his deck. He's got advanced dock, but realistically, I want to say he wants Team Coastal Defences, giving you multipliers against boats from the dock, the town centre, outposts, anything which has an anti-ship damage, it can do. This is nice though, chasing down that low HP caravel. Lecastete trying to build another dock to heal it in the back. Smart play. A lot of bit of micro here. Soldier saying lol because he can't target. The boat has to change direction. Oh, he's given. Oh, has he done it? Oh, he's hightailing it out of there. But I think Soldier should be able to retreat back to his dock and get it. An outpost has been dropped more forward. I would be fuming if I was Soldier. They're just boat dancing, bit of Age of Empires 3 micro. Who would have guessed? Hey, Lecastete dropping down, gill nets, buffing 14 fishing boats, 15%. Really strong upgrade there. His card progression, he went advanced warships card number 4, so not looking to be sent in 700 coin anytime soon. But the house will be built, it does have more population space for more villagers. No stable for Hussar raiding. No real resources by its town centre, but the town centre is more of a strategic building here, offering fire. An outpost is going down, and actually, it's not too bad. And there's enough fish in the back line here for Soldier to gather. That's about 2,000 safe fish. Bit of whales, 2 whales available, some fish on the front line. The outpost will go down. Might actually trade off front galley here. Yeah, you've got an outpost, 1 caravel firing. Where's the other caravel? It's at the back, healing. Naval combat in for Soldier as well. British Navy looking rather strong. He's still training fishing boats as well behind this. So far this water congestion has forced a response from Lecastete instead of allowing Lecastete to do Portuguese booming things as they would rather do, and aging up with a mega eco behind this. Forward barracks here from Soldier, trying to get some musketeer raids out on the field. Double barracks. Scouted though early by Lecastete. Really nice scouting action there. Just to be on top of the scouting game continuously. So no proxy stable this game, but you never know. Might not be too late to drop down a side stable for the fun of it. What I would like to see though is if you've got 3 caravels and you're fighting for water and water is the most important part of this game, armor plating from either of these players upgrade your warship's HP by 50%. It's a huge upgrade, and I think would turn the tide in either players' engagements. We've got 3 carded caravels, same upgrade, some strength, but we've got dock fire, town centre fire, and yeah, that's just so strong. Just forcing back the caravel, and this might be the time to send advanced dock or team coastal defences if the card was in the deck. A lot of villagers on wood though, chopping from Soldier. Let's look, he does have his log flume, so at least he's got some decent architects. A bit of herding here as well, keeping hunts nice and close, pushing the hunts and turkeys toward his villagers. Some good eco management here behind from Soldier, but staying H2, trying to keep all his focus on H2, anti-water aggression, as well as starting to transition to some longbows on the land. Longbows just to raid the villagers from range. And actually, once they get in range, they can probably mow down more villagers with their faster rate of fire. He just needs to get in close and not fire. Yeah, look at it. He's getting nice and close. So he can move from one villager to another. But yeah, the second volley comes in, but he has to get away before that. Portuguese explorer down. British explorer down. Bit of musk raiding as well. Greatcoats have been researched here from Soldier. That will delay the death of his villagers by a little bit. But pikes is not what he needs to defend. Another batch of pikemen there at all. And I think, yeah, Soldier's gone longbow pike here instead of musketeers due to having the actual wood upgrades on his villagers. But he needs to get some longbows produced or home. They're coming home now. But that's buying Lecastete a lot of time on land to make more villagers. Meanwhile, the water action's kind of cooled down a little bit. It's cool on the water. 3 caravels still alive here for Lecastete. He might want to try and get a 4th out at some point. His musketeers have killed a lot of villagers though. Like, he's done a decent job pressuring the water. 53 villas from Soldier. Lecastete 54 villagers in total. Obviously that includes fishing boats, 16 from Lecastete, and a little bit more down here, 18 in total. Whereas Soldier 11. I think I saw. No, these guys no upgrades, but I think I saw long lines coming in from Lecastete. 0.87 coin per second on the whales. Has set rendering plant as well, so those fishing boats at about 75% efficient. They're very, very, very strong. Yeah, 45 from long lines and 30 from the rendering plant. So really strong fishing boats. A lot of musketeers close to getting sucked into the TP. 2 turkeys in the TP, but that has been sorted in the latest patch. We're not currently on the latest patch at the moment. Longbows pushed underneath the town centre. See Lecastete in the fortress age, training organ guns. Castador will be scouted at by Soldier. Longbows will see the artillery foundry. Opening up with 1k wood. Longbows pushing in on these villagers actually. Greatcoats is available, but more villagers going down. Couple musks not quite enough. One musketeer does enter the trading post. Seeks to take refuge underneath the shelter. Joins the 2 turkeys. Meanwhile, this musketeer is just getting piked from behind. Longbow still standing. 2 organ guns coming out. Hopefully the organ guns can avoid the trading post. Castors out in the field, but yeah, I'm on the boat that Castors are just really poor early fortress. It's only once you get the triple gunpowder card and advanced arsenal that they actually start to put into a shift. Okay, organ guns though on longbows. This is going to be messy. Stagger mode or defensive mode. You're going to try and fight this. But yeah, just split the splits. He's trying to go into hand combat here, but they will go down. Castor's got their back, and that should be a good engagement there. Hey, how's the water fight coming along? Both players making their peace after sending warship combat, not looking to fight. But you know, Lecastete's in the Fortress Age. This is where you get some frigate support. You can train a frigate, and as soon as you get the frigate out, you can just push in and march your advantage on the water. You can see Lecastete's plan though: get some siege and try and slow push the water from the land and the water. That's what he wants to try and do. Shipment ready to go. This might be the time for a 2 organ gun shipment from the town centre or the frigate. Frigate's been called. That makes sense. I was only thinking of the 2 organ guns there because you could train the frigate from the dock because we've got a lot of wood spare. Oh, Hussars onto the organ guns. Will he protect it? I think he will lose one of these organ guns, but there's enough dragoons to pick off most of these, all the Hussars. This is Pike coming in from behind, so one organ gun goes down. Dragoons are just running quite a bit. If they just stood and fired, actually I think all the Hussars would have gone down by now, but yeah, does lose just the one organ gun. Not too bad otherwise. Slow push is coming in onto the land. Organ guns onto the dock. Caravel wanted to try and snipe off this organ gun. I feel a soldier, he's thinking he wants to snipe this, but here comes the frigate. Here comes the caravels. No armor plating on these boats. No upgraded attack as well. Same situation for soldier, just a single upgrade on those boats. But the more stuff principle, I think soldier should be able to win this. Caravel can fire behind the range of the caravels. That's quite nice. But here's enough presence on the land to put pressure on the dock. One dock going down, and that's less anti-ship damage from the dock. The outpost is probably the biggest damage dealer at the moment. Not a lot of these fishing boats are going into the dock to defend. But the organ guns are slowly moving forwards. The caravels are still standing. The frigate's got 2k HP. I think the frigate should just go in and just tank up the damage. And even if you lose the frigate, it's okay. You've got all these fishing boats and caravels behind, so you can still do the damage behind this. It should be in a strong position. Only now is he getting armor plating, but I think he's already won the water. May want to cancel that one. Big Hussar switch onto the organ guns. Can he get into the frigate? Oh no, the organ guns gets down quickly, but the Castadors, they're going to board the boat straight away. They're on top of the Santiago. They want to get away from these longbows. But yes, the frigate with a 75% range resist won't get picked off by the longbows anytime soon, and will get to unload his ship near the safety of the town centre. Are there more organ guns on the way from Lecastete? I think a couple more organ guns would be quite nice. Does have a couple more organ guns in production. I would like to see him really saturating the whales. He's got another whale back here. He's got 2 whales back here he can gather. He's only got 3 whales between 3 fishing boats on 2 whales, so he needs to get some more fishing boats down there. So these whales are infinite sources of coin, and he's got very strong fishing boats as well, so he needs to maximise his return on the coin from the sea. Couple more castles being trained. Organ guns ready to pop. Will he get a second? He could sell a bit of food to get a third if he wants. Oh, but it's housed. It's housed. And we've all been there. Got to stay away from this training post. If his turkey's already in there, it opens you up to being sucked in. It really does. This is so close. But the castles managed to survive. Nice organ volleys on some longbows. Yeah, it picks up about 5 there. That's not too bad. Trade, not the greatest. But longbows versus castles, or longbows with... Is Soldier actually in a strong position? Like, I keep saying, like, oh, is Soldier actually going to do this? But just to kind of keep the kind of attention. But actually, it feels like he's got a strong push on the land and units, and some really good units to deal with what Lecastete has. Lecastete does have, a decent amount of units and resources, but not on the field just yet. Getting a Hussar switch behind this, but needs to wait for a veteran. Hussars hasn't sent. He has sent Goon Combat now, but Soldier's still fishing. Like, the Portuguese Armada, he's got 2 frigates. He's got 2 frigates, and yet Soldier's still fishing. These frigates should be right-clicking the top side of this map and denying Soldier the entirety of the option of actually having any fishing. He had the military advantage there. I know you had to pull the frigates back to defend those castors, but Soldier's now on the back foot, and it's time for you to push your advantage as well. Pushing the outposts from the land. Here comes the Portuguese Armada. Soon behind. Yes, it is coming behind there. There is actually a hotkey to select all warships, and that would help him to remember he's got a second warship, which he completely forgot about. That's okay. little things here and there. Raiden top side, Minutemen, 10 Minutemen going for the Minutemen raid. Always fun to see. These guys are great coats though, but they will die to a one pop of a minute. It's more of if Soldier's aware and actually reacts to it in time. Soldier's, yeah, he's pushing out, but he doesn't want to fight next to the coast. He wants to fight in Lecastete's base. If he fights near the warships, he's just going to lose so many units to this. You can see he's thinking about it. His longbows are in range, but out of range of the boats. But the musketeers, they don't want any of this. They don't want to be underneath the frigates. Other frigate just maintaining, keeping a watchful eye over the fishing boats. Again, a nice trade here. The frigate here with armor plating as well, just tanking so much damage. The cavalry's got no chance. The dock's got no chance. That's going to go down. And yeah, goodbye water at that point. Soldier leaving the coast, moving back into the land, moving his army. A couple of villages here exposed. Probably will get picked off. All the villagers behind the base now. Lecastete at 87 villager population in total. That's including the settlers and the fishing boats. The dock's gone down, but these fishing boats will soon get cleaned up. More dragoons being popped behind. Just the 2 organ guns behind this, but it's starting to get a mass of veteran hussars coming along. 16 dragoons, 9 vet huss, 2 organ guns as well on top of the longbows. We get some decent volleys here, but longbows will probably target down the organ guns with lower HP. But still, again, five kills for an organ gun. The trades are happening. Soldiers pushing in, carded hussars with the HP. But these are veteran units with combat cards on them, so these hussars and dragoons are significantly better. Fighting towards the coast once again. Frigate nearby to offer support. Here comes the secondary frigate. Going to turn around and offer some broadside support. A couple of settlers. No, castadors meeting untimely death. 1 hussar, 1 musketeer being sucked into the portal of doom, as we like to call it. A couple of villagers on the tree line, a mill under pressure. Soldier will be tempted to take this. He'll look at his villagers thinking this is a nice pickup, but actually the dragoon fire, the frigate fire, the hussars on the longbows. These guys issuing attack orders but can't do a thing, unfortunately. It's so unfortunate. Hopefully that's been sorted out in the latest patch, and hopefully that won't be a factor in the global championships, because that'd be quite annoying to see games if that was a major factor. But hussars having to run away, dragoons in hot pursuit, leaving behind musketeers and the longbows. Castles doing pretty decent. A batch of castles will get picked off there by the hussars, but all in all, Lecastete though, strong eco behind us, now sending refrigeration. Dropping down another barracks, lots of villagers on the wooden coin, lots of resources available to get a big batch of organ guns if you likes. Organ guns en masse do quite well versus hussars as well. Longbows trying to raid the coastline. I don't know what they're trying to find here, but the coast is all under Lecastete's control. Frigates to the very north side of the sea to lock down the entire coastline. And yeah, he's just trying to train more fishing boats because he can, but all the fish are basically gone. It's just the whales he needs to saturate. Hussars onto the dragoons. Dragoons will fire and move, try and get out of there. Actually, not a bad fight there for Soldier. But the problem for Soldier, he's stuck in the second age, but he's age up now. If he's age up now, he might not want to take all these fights he's engaging with just yet. Trying to age up with some mass to get the techs in and upgrade more units, but he feels like he's got units. Like he's longbows to deal with the dragoons, and once the dragoons down, there's hussars on the castadors. Maybe Lecastete needs to go into musketeers, go veteran musketeers, and have your gunpowder combat cards buff the musketeers. It's a tactical option that Lecastete could do, because castles are just getting torn to pieces by the longbows. But I think the veteran musketeers will actually fare a little bit better. But I suppose that's where the organ guns come in. Whale oil coming in behind us for Lecastete on a map with 5 whales as well. The whale spawn actually quite favouring Lecastete. 2 whales underneath that central part. Only 1 whale was on the soldier's side of the sea, and the other 2 are firmly in the southern part of the sea. Soldier up to the fortress stage. That should give Lecastete enough time to jump to industrial if he wants to do so. The mill is down. Let's check his gathering. Okay, he has refrigeration. I think he has. If that's 90, that's 90%. So 9 refrigeration. Okay, he's getting artificial fertilizer now, but I was wondering why it's 90%. But I think the mills have a base It's 0.67 instead to the compared to the the rice paddy is 0.5. Yeah, 0.67 with seed drill and refrigeration. Yeah, that sounds about right. So strong eco there from Lecastete. Kit saying classic Giggsy. I don't actually know what Lecastete's actual name is. Is it how's it saying Guillaume? Is that his old name? I don't know. Oh yeah, so sorry for hitting the mic. I just kind of, kind of lose your focus a little bit. But I've got a little boom mic and just occasionally gets in the way if I'm like gesturing my hands. It's like it's that important to. Sometimes I still even use my hands, even at my desk, even though there's no one around and no one's going to see it. It's just like an unintentional habit, just to kind of help you get those words out in the way you want to speak those words. But yeah, it's just habitual things, I guess. Eco theory behind us from Lecastete on a high number of villager population buffs all the villagers gathering on the the mill, the tree line, the koi mine plantations, as well as the fishing boats in the water. So these guys will even get stronger. Now up to 1.05 coin per second. Will soon be 1.1 coin per second. Very strong eco, and expecting Lecastete to get a big batch of organ guns here if he wants to go organ guns. He's trying to get food actually. He's a little bit short on the food. Only of the 3 mills. There's some turkeys on the north side. Still hunting. Not so much at this point. But yeah, there's 4 organ guns, and you can go for a 50 if he likes, but I don't think he needs all 5. Soldiers starting to run out of food on the northern side. There's a couple of deers on the eastern side behind the Carib settlements. Also to note, like the Seminole settlement and the Carib settlement have archer techs to benefit archer units, and Soldier has a lot of these archer units and longbows. So the Seminole, if I was to alt tab, 15% all actions damage longbows. He could use that to buff his longbows, and that could pick off those organ guns a little bit faster than he does. But 4 organ guns is a scary amount for soldiers to deal with. That's the territory of having to throw down your own artillery foundry and get some culverins out so you don't take heavy losses while you take them down yourself. Let's check the Carib settlement while we're here as well. Carib settlement, archer, multipliers versus villagers, and also archer, all actions damaged by 10% as well. So there's a potential for plus 25 damage from 2 natives on the map and get those techs. Not actually that expensive. 200 for the trading post, of course, and then okay, that's 500 resources. That's actually quite expensive. But then again, that's extra 50 wood, 50 coin from vet tech, and the HP bonus is pretty meaningless. The damage is what you really want, so it's not overly expensive. But that would have been so nice to have that earlier on. It's why Japan on this map is such a strong pick. Just imagine having Yumi archers already been strong, and then, oh, by the way, double native techs giving those units an extra 25% attack. That'd be absolutely disgusting to see. Yeah, the natives aren't great, but you don't build the natives here for the natives. Maybe Caribbeans, if you're like up against like a Spain colonial player who's going really heavy on the heavy infantry, because they do have strong multipliers versus heavy infantry. But it's usually the techs, and there are quite a lot of useful techs in the game which just people are not aware of. They don't know, and sometimes it's very nice to incorporate. Okay, nice bit of wall in here. Hussar's gone straight in front line, but the Dragoons are here support. Longbows are starting to fire from behind, but there's enough Longbows firing. Really grouped up infantry here from the Lecastete. It's a bit awkward. But I think these guys stopped their firing animation once they realised their target was defeated. So, not great AI usage of the organ guns there, but it's one organ gun still firing, still grouped up low HP. We'll get more kills there, 3 kills there, about 5 kills worth of HP. Hussars wrapping around the sides. Good pickups there from Lecastete. The food is running low from Soldier behind this. What's his remass like? Big batch of Hussars possibly. The longbows are putting in so much work behind this. And Lecastete has to back off. He's lost his Castador mass. The Dragoon's still standing. But yeah, if these longbows had that extra upgrades, you never know. Send Yeoman for the long range if Soldier has it in his deck. Not always British players have Yeoman. He hasn't got it in his deck today. But yeah, Longbows could just like solo Portuguese. Today on Aussie Drongo's latest videos, is the Longbowman the most overpowered unit in the game? Question mark, exclamation mark, smiley face. Okay, so, Drongo, I'll send you this rack if you want to do that. There's your title right there. Longbowman OP? Question mark.
Yes.
I always feel like opening up the video and just going to the comments and just saying no, full stop, and then leaving. And just that, but I can't get around to it. I feel too toxic if I was to do that. Culver in support, just here to protect any artillery play from Lecastete. Castor's just not having a great time today on the combat field. They're not really putting in the work that Lecastete hopes. Industrial Age behind this, probably looking to go into heavy cannon supports. Open it with Factory, getting heated shot from the Arsenal, but there's no presence on the water from Soldier at any point soon. Longbowman focusing down the Dragoons. Good micro coming here from Soldier, focusing on the right units, but just enough cavalry here from the Lecastete to hold on. Remember, Soldier really low on food. He's running out of food. He's on mills, but there's no more hunts available. Only 23 hunter-gatherers. And yeah, he calls it. He realizes he can't catch up to the Industrial Edge eco, and he's out of hunts. The GG's been called, and Tet is up to 3-0. It was a really interesting game, and that early game, the dock was under pressure from an early point of the game, and the outpost went down due to Lecastete going for that really early aggressive 2 caravel shipment. But for large parts, actually, Soldier had a potential to really do some damage to Lecastete, having a 3-2 caravel advantage. Both players having the advanced warships, a couple of outposts going down. There was potential. But I think Soldier was in the stalling game there just to really annoy and hamper the Portuguese eco. But quite a lot of the game, yes, the warships were there, but the fishing boats were still gathering because Soldier just couldn't push in. So maybe having a bit more of a anti-eco, or having some anti-eco threat there, but mainly focusing on land eco. Virginia Company possibility. The early TP was there, so that could squeeze that card in. I think it's hard for Brits to decide whether they want to go Virginia Company or schooners, because they both benefit your economy, but in different ways. And once you commit one way or the other, you kind of made your bed. You can't sit in it. But no schooners this game for Soldier. He went for the earlier wood shipments to get those naval boats out, and I think it's a good choice to not go schooners, because you wouldn't get too much value from that. And you wouldn't get the tempo from that early 2 caravel shipment you had as well. So, but yeah, just a really good game. Longbow's put in a lot of work in the trades thereafter. Yeah, you can't help but feel, what if those native techs were in there? What if Yeoman was in the deck? That would have really put a lot of pressure onto Lecastete. But Lecastete, town centre boom, full water, a lot of coin eco. The important thing is you don't see an estate being made from, apart from one, you don't really see many estates from Lecastete because his coin eco is secure, so his eco is just taking off. A couple of sheep still alive at the end. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Oh, was that only game 3? Wow, we had 2 somewhat longish games in the series. Dutch versus British, then we had the Port versus British, and now we're having Germans versus the Lakota, and Soldier once again playing as the Lakota nation, spawning into the southern side of the map in the colour blue. Picked himself up an early 40 wood treasure. Does this mean he may want to go for an early trading post? If he's lucky and he moves directly to the northern position here, he might actually scout this wood treasure. I suppose he's going top right. Is he going to see it? He's going to see a trading post, but he misses the 80 wood treasure. That is harsh. That is tough luck. But that's the role of the treasure RNG in this game. A little bit of coin here, nothing too much. There's a 75 wood treasure behind his base. In his base, he's got 40 wood. He's got 40 wood. He sees it. 40 wood there, plus the wood from the gathering on the floor, and that could be your trading post. Wait, am I missing 100 wood somewhere? Is there no 100 wood? Is it? Yeah, no, they started off with 100 wood, didn't they? But they start off with no wood now. I'm going back crazy. I'm literally going loony. Yeah. No. Yeah, when you have like civs who go early to age 1 TP, you just assume that they have like 200 wood to start off with. But no, yeah. Lecastete gets 0 wood and a coin crate for shits and gigs. You literally can do nothing with that coin crate in age 1. Like, that's so sad. It's like when you get the coin crate as Japan on RE as your like random crate. It's such a depressing moment. Right, let's look at Lecastete. Let's see what he's up to. He went for the early market. Gonna go for the Hunting Dogs play. Yeah, Hunting Dogs has been researched. House is down somewhere. Okay, the house is built there. Been blind. You just kind of expect it just to the sides, but just, I don't often build my house in line with the town centre. No real reason to not. Just not visually expecting to see that. 2 in-base coin mines as well. Really nice for Germany. These are silver mines as well, so 4,000 coin in base, a lot of coin available for the German civilization, and they should be on these mines, you know, well into the fortress age, to the point where they can probably send Black Riders or Jaegers quite comfortably inside the base. And afterwards, this is a very close 3rd mine, and the 4th mine is a little bit further out. Wallable if you wanted to wall it, but by that time I think Germany should have decent map presence anyway. Lecastete, nothing else. From Soldier, nothing else too important to shout out. He's picked up a couple of treasures, but I don't think he's picked up too many big treasures. That 80 wood is still standing. Meanwhile, Lecastete's picking up 40 wood. He's got the 45 food in his base. It'd be nice to see if he goes over to pick that treasure up before he ages up and trying to help that age up. You know, otherwise, that 45 food will never really be useful at any other point in the game. Obviously, he has seen it. Yeah, he's going to try and move his way to this side of the map. Might see that wood treasure. Maybe he's saving up his crack shot. Yeah, he's going to go for that food treasure now. That's good use. I like that. I tell you what I like as well. I really like. So Lecastete has killed a deer right underneath the town centre. But the important thing there was that this 4 villager shipment, one of the strongest villager shipments in the game, you know, on par with literally the 4 villagers of Soldier, instantly go from the town centre to the hunt. No walking time, no shenanigans, just going straight onto the food, getting those resources from that shipment. And it's so important because you see there at the end, a little bit of idle time, but that's minimised as much as possible due to Lecastete having, you know, like that villager spawn onto the food there. Doppel's on the saying, get your Tara shoes on. Fitzbro going for Soldier hype. Well, he needs a bit of support in the chat. It's 3-0 down to Lecastete at the moment. Lecastete playing very well recently, has to be said. Soldier no slouch, and you know, last 2 games have been very, very close. You don't have a 30-minute game which is not close. You know, so Soldier's been playing well so far. You could say that the first game was a bit of a matchup win for Lecastete. Lecastete versus Germany. We do have the resident Lecastete expert of Fitz in the chat, but I would have to say, well, yeah, on this patch, just Lecastete is not that great. And Germany, with all these coin mines in base, lots amount of safe hunt as well. A bit of a choky map, I suppose, but actually the front side of Lecastete is very, very wide open. But I still feel that the Germans will be quite comfortable with this map spawn and this matchup. So we have a forward war hut here from Lecastete. I suppose, you know, Germans, they really want that trading post. They really, really want that trading post, but that never came in. He's still working on that 75 wood treasure. And I think Lecastete's kind of given up the idea and the notion of trying to go for a trading post. With all this coin being mined from Lecastete, might actually be a potential to go for early racks doppels. He's got so much wood. He's chopping more wood, so that's going to be barracks defense into crossbow pike, it looks like. I suppose that's okay because You can see how Lecastete wanted to try and get some sort of trading post down, but realistically, I think he knew. He was never going to get a trading post down. Soldier knows to kind of protect the trading post, and he's gone for raiding. Is actually Lecastete just going to walk his way to the second trading post and throw it down? That would be quite funny if he does. He's just going to walk back to base. He's spending all his wood in base on defensive racks. The church has gone down because I suppose if you can't get access to a trading post, there's no rush. Get a church in base, and it's not like you'll lose that church to being sieged down. It's going to be continuously in your base, continuously providing experience per second, 0.6 XP per second for the price of 150 wood. Yeah, that's a decent trade. It really is. It's not as worth. It's not as strong as a trading post, but it's not that far off. And the fact that it's continuous, actually, it kind of is a bit of a buff in that sense as well. So it's worth investing if you want a safe income of experience points. I think that's the best way of saying it. Soldier picking up 80 coin. Tigers going down. 5 Seaton bows out. But Seaton bows, they probably don't do that well versus crossbows. They do very well versus pikemen, doppels. That's where the kind of the double unit competition from Lecastete comes from. Going Seaton bow rider here. Don't often see bow riders much these days. Actually, they're still very, very strong. Maybe Soldier can make this work. Unfortunately, though, we are playing on Nepal. 2 TP mid map. Not the greatest map to stagecoach. And with all these resources in base, it's not the best map to starve as well. So I think Soldier really needs to be some sort of aggressive here. You can't play the waiting game. Soldier's Lecastete's eco is pretty good with the 3 settler wagon shipment. He sent that. Does have 2 settler wagons to send as well if he needs to or gets to that point. Here comes 700 wood. Crossbow's out already, but a bit of town centre fire. Crossbow fire, it should be pretty decent. And a couple settler wagons gathering up this wood. Second racks maybe. Yeah, it's looking good for Lecastete already, to be honest. It's looking pretty decent. Playing really well. And I think Lecastete's feeling comfortable enough now to transition onto coin. Just looking at his army villager movements. Of course, he's got all his woods to burn through at the barracks first. So he doesn't need to chop too much more. So I think he's trying to try and get to 300 coins, send 700, and have the rest of the villagers on the food. That's what I'm sensing from Lecastete. Okay, dropping down a stable. May go for a bit of Dop Ulan afterwards. He's training a couple more pikes, and you might as well when you've got that spare wood. Yeah, I suppose with no trading posts, you don't. The kind of wants to go to the Fortress Age is less desirable. But crossbows should outclass Seaton bows because the Seaton bows have that setup animation. Nice army competition here. Bit out of position from Soldier. Ulan's going to get a couple swings on the Seaton bows. That's not nice to see. That'll be a 3-hit kill. Soldier's thinking, what's happened here? But the bow riders have got to come in, baited the Ulans in, and actually Lecastete is at the risk of overextending here. There's a lot of bow riders here. High damage dealers. They do, get torn apart by crossbows, but there's just enough stuff here to deal with that. And it's just a little bit more. If Soldier had a little bit more, he could take that fight and crush it. And I think those extra axe riders there are enough to take that fight away from the town centre. But the opportunities being and gone. Soldier saying that was interesting, and I have to agree that I felt like there was an opportunity there, just not quite capitalised on. Behind this, what's Soldier up to? Training axe riders, sent in 7 clubs. Looks like the aggression's still here, and he wants to go in. Will he get a 5th axe rider? I don't think he will, but that won't be too much of an issue. Train another villager, keep the villager production going. But another axe rider behind this. This seems like he's got enough with the 7 club shipments. So basically he's gone 4 vil, 5 vil, and then 3 unit shipments, one after the other. Lecastete trying to age up here. He thinks he's got a window, but these games are always the sense that when you have the window to age up, you think you're safe, you click the age up button, and then your army turns up, and your opponent turns up with a huge army. You're thinking, oh no, what do I do? Do I cancel? Do I train units? Do I age up and try and send a shipment and hold it out? I think this is going to be a tough hold. There's lots of units, and it's a 4-unit composition here, so there's a lot of lots of things. It looks like Soldiers grouped his war clubs with the axe riders, so he's basically got melee units, dragoon units, and bow units of the Seaton bowmans. But the clubmen will slow down the axe riders a little bit, not too much. 5.5 is their speed with the explorer, but once the Z move happens, the cav should break away from the infantry. Nice defensive wall in here from Lecastete, deleting the pillars, getting some decent wall in. Might be a little bit of gap here, but a bit of gaps in the wall is actually really good versus, you know, units with Civ with a lot of cavalry, so you can kind of filter their units in one by one and kill them as they come in. War wagon skirmisher being trained behind this won't have enough resources to get full batches of war wagons. Shipman not yet ready, and Soldier he's thinking he wants to. He's tempted to do so. He's going to try and wheel around and find a way in. Set that wagon coming out to build the wall, get this wall up as fast as possible, and as soon as it's constructed, it's at full HP, and no longer going to take that ×4 multiplier. Crossbow's moving forward. We're going to deal with the war clubs. One skirmisher about to pop. He's not going to complete the match because he wants to focus on the war wagons. That's what he needs at the moment. Currently 3 in queue. A lot of coin actually behind this. A lot of idle villages in the town centre providing range fire. 4 settler wagons in the town centre as well. Not what he wants. Uhlans have gone forward. I don't know how they got through that gap or where they went from, but he's pulling them back. The wall is down, but the war wagon's about to pop. Minutemen being called. The war wagon's about to pop as well. Pikemen on top of the cavalry. Soldier thinks he can take this. Villagers tanking. Unintentionally tanking, but they're doing a good job here. War wagons pop in. There's 4 war wagons. Shipment behind this. The villagers get into the town centre. Good control there. That's a clean-up. I thought Pikeman would have held on a little bit longer, but damn, the Axe Riders pushing in. War wagons having to kite their best. 4 war wagons running away from all these club soldiers. The Z move there from soldiers works. 5 settler wagons still in the town centre. This is tough here from Lecastete. He needs to keep kiting, but he needs to not lose his head. He just needs a micro, and he should be in a somewhat alright his position. Town centre, more war wagons as well. Another shipment ready to go, which is horse XP. Axe Riders going down everywhere, plus 20s. So his first 3 war wagons went down, but he's got to get some decent trades here. Each time these guys shoot onto an Axe Rider, it's a dead Axe Rider. So yeah, a lot of XP. 9 Uhlans is his next shipment. Oh, he's going to get Vet Uhlan from the stable. I think that's a smart decision. You need to be focusing down the bow riders with the town centre then. Leave everything else, but try and focus the bow riders down. That's your damage dealers, and he's focusing the axe riders. Settler wagons coming out to play. We're going to try and punch down a couple of these bow riders. Might as well. But actually, because these guys are mostly ranged units now, I think he can get the axe. I think he can get the settler wagons out working. Should be fine. But he's trying to bait. He's trying to bait the army. He's saying, chase my settler wagons. You know you want to, but out come the Uhlans. Vet Uhlans about to complete now as well. Yeah, Vet Uhlans have been completed. Bit of a snare on, so as soon as you get a bit of a snare on, it's mainly axe riders as well, and Vet units should do pretty well. He will lose all his Uhlans here, but again, he will trade off pretty decently and should be able to gather from this point onwards. Couple of axe bow riders still firing from behind. Seaton bow. There's no war clubs in here. That's not too bad, actually. That wasn't too bad of a trade for Lecastete. He's bought himself a little bit of breathing room. Not too much, though. He's on berries. The hunt's kind of drifted off. But this mine is away from Lecastete's kind of, or soldier's point. He's going to try and raid the coin mines on the right side. He's checked this coin mine, but I think he knows. I think soldier knows this coin mine is. Oh, he doesn't know. Soldier thinks this ward goes here and extends and completes, but actually there's a coin mine here. He's going to try and wrap around. He's just going to sit on the coin mines. He knows that. But he also knows there's coin in the base, and you know the villagers will be gathering. And actually, this time he's not pushing or being aggressive with his units. It's time that Lecastete's gathering. Okay, bow riders right behind it. He can see the coin mine. He knows where he wants to target. A lot of war wagons here. They actually resist the fire quite well. He's scouted, but the bow rider here is low HP. Wants to try and focus this one down. But this bow rider has a lot more HP. Let's look into the base and see what units are coming. A couple of skirmishers. Yeah, the bow riders have to run. But where's the hand cavalry? Are they coming? They're not for the time being. And all this time, it's time that Lecastete will make great use of. A nice herd at the top right as well. Yeah, so once he gets a bit of extra cavalry on the field. Yeah, 3 war wagons, that's enough to kind of protect villagers who wants to hunt. troubled marketplace going down in base, moving from one coin mine to another. There's a crate of wood coming from behind. Still on one war hut, one stable. Will we see a second building somewhere? No, not quite just yet. Spending that wood as soon as it comes in. 43 villagers though. You know, strong eco. Set himself up. He sent himself the cav HP and cavalry damage at the moment. So his bow riders looking pretty strong. Axe riders 40 attack, 287 HP. A hybrid between a hussar and an ulan in terms of HP and strength. European ways is available to send. 700 coins what soldier will send next to mass, but I think then you can get second stable double bow rider spam. I guess you could try and age off it. He's got a lot of wood still to spare at this point. Bhakti Temple, berry gathering upgrades, but I don't think he's going to stay on the berries. He's a lot of hunt on the side of the map he's going to go for. He's actually going to push in the time, but Lecastete thinks he can get the hunts. Oh, he doesn't see the hunt though. Oh, that's so annoying. I think it's quite important if you ever have a spare scouting unit, scout all your enemy's resources. As soon as you see that hunt dying, that's the go time for soldiers to right click and go in, and that way you pick off a couple of vills and retreat, or to go in and stay there and kill all of them. Warhut, another batch of seeds and bows, and that's information for Lecastete. He knows that more units are being trained. He knows that soldiers are staying age 2 at the time being. Actually, if Lecastete just sits in base and tries to send Jaegers, I don't see ever how that's been defeated. Or even Black Riders. I think Black Riders would be a sensible decision, but pushing here, I'm not feeling it. There's enough bow riders. These are strong units. Nice split though. Double kill at this point. And you see how Lecastete's trying to kite his way back in. The Ulan's here, not really working with the army competition. Lecastete staying with the skirm goon style army. And soldier, you just can't engage all these war wagons. And it's just so strong. Could cav combat be an option here for the war wagons? Well, it's either that or something like 1,000 coin and move all your villagers onto the hunts. Okay, another engagement. Hussars chasing in. War clubs coming out from the war huts. Skirmishers Z moving, but picking up the war clubs, which is quite nice, but overclearing that war club quite a bit. The bow riders are getting close. The Seaton bows want a bit of action for themselves, but they're just too far away. Where is the Explorer? The Explorer's in base. Nearly high HP, but just not buffing the speed, and not allowing soldiers to close that gap with the archers to get on top of the war wagons. Unfortunate there. House being made forward, and business as usual here for the German player at the Fortress Age. I always find it quite funny how war wagons siege buildings by literally just shooting them. Because there's no separate animation, it's just shoot them. Right, the war hut's gone down. Is this the go time for soldier? He's going to try and go in. Axe Riders leads in the charge here, but a big batch of 5 war wagons and the 7 skirm plus 3 Ulan. That's a huge power spike. I'm just seeing plus 20s and 18s everywhere. Got to keep the war wagons back. No need to engage them. Try and trade off the bows with the skirmishers. And can keep soldiers fighting. War dance has been engaged by a soldier. He's dancing with 11 villagers on the war dance. But double-carded bow riders and axe riders is just not enough versus these 300 resource dragoon style units of the veteran war wagon. Very, very strong. Clunky, but strong. And at the moment, they're kind of standing and fighting, doing their job. Seaton bows trying to go in. Not happening. And yeah, okay, that didn't go well. I don't know what soldier wants to do here. This is game match point as well for Lecastete. Like, if Lecastete wins this, Lecastete marching his way onto the finals to take on Maito. It was Maito, wasn't it? Yes, it was Maito. 4-2 for Maito. Yeah, it was a close series, wasn't it? Best of 7. Come on, soldier. Let's get the comeback going. Let's do it. Soldier hype. More axe riders being trained. 700 coin being sent behind. Does have one stable. Going for a second stable here for potential double bow rider pop. 700 coin being sent behind it. He sent the herdables, the hunts, the bisons. There's enough bisons out on the map, but he's herding with villagers far and wide. Looks like the German explorer's going to sniff out this side operation and move over to the western flank of the map. A couple of villagers running away, getting out of that position. Marching across the trading post, always risky. Duba the Pet Monkey, though, doing one over Martin Stella, the German explorer. Lecastete doesn't see this, and the Duba's just continuously slapping him, but gets picked off there, so rest in peace, Duba. You served your nation well. I don't think much raiding's happened. I see these 3 Uhlans trying to go down the south here, trying to find the tribal marketplace, but no villagers to no avail. All these hunters on the right side. This would be a huge raiding target if Lecastete got onto that. There's not many cavalry units in the nearby presence to defend that. Cavalry combat has come in for Lecastete. Most of his villagers are now onto the coin. Maybe his next shipment may be of a mercenary type. He does have a lot of war wagons here, 11 war wagons, 21 skirmishers, so if he was to send a mercenary shipment, it would be the Black Riders. Black Riders, again, a very strong mercenary shipment. Bit of out of favour recently, but still strong. But I suppose if you have cav combat war wagons, maybe war wagons are even better option. I mean, the only other shipment soldier has at the moment is European ways. You know, build a TP, get Cav Kuras. Could get ranged cavalry Karakol for his bow riders, but yeah, it's not the damage that's the problem. The bow riders, it's staying alive versus the skirmishers. All the villagers on the fire pit going for a big dance here. 18 dancers. Going to buff his attack here by 19%. Axe riders 48 hand attack, 287 HP. No TP defense here though, so that HP is not massive. He's going to try and get in as deep as possible before the Z move happens, but the Uhlans are just body blocking. That's okay. It's the war wagons doing the damage, and the Axe Rider's going in again. Again, the Lakota War Chief not here, able to provide that speed boost to help the Axe Riders get into combat a lot quicker. Not too bad actually. Dog Soldier, big button being called from Soldier in H2. This is desperate measures from him, but desperate times mean desperate measures. Should get a lot of Dog Soldiers here. Looking to beat 6 Dog Soldiers from the town centre. They're going to chase across the map. 6 Dog Soldiers en route. But the war wagons are still standing there. That's the problem. And the Seaton bows are starting to go. The skirmisher line still stands strong, but the 6 Dog Soldiers nicely timed though. That should clean up the skirmishers. And the war wagons are starting to take a lot of damage. 4 of them, low HP. This could be it, you know. Soldier could have enough military to clean this army. But I think the follow-up play here from Lecastete should be strong enough. And yeah, here come Black Riders. If the gun's not tough enough as it is, 9 Black Riders should be enough to clinch the game out. A big batch of war wagons as well to come in. A bit of shortage of food, but after that should be pretty fine. There you go, 4 war wagons, and I think if soldiers saw those 4 war wagons, it'd be a little bit like, oh no, what do I do versus this? But you've got to try and make the most of all the skirmishers. The war chiefs are back up, those skirmishers are going down very quickly. The war clubs are on the Seaton bows onto the war wagons. We believe soldier hype. Gonna pull out, gonna go into some villages, get some raids in, a couple of low HP villagers here. So many villagers on the coin mine, and that's what Germany needs, is the coin. There's the cavalry on top of the coin, but the war wagons in hot pursuit. Just want to try and run around. Can you get some more cavalry batches? There's some more bow riders there from Soldier. Let's look at his eco. More bow riders coming around. He's got the bow riders. He's going to go back in. He's going to try and pick off these war clubs. Hand combat with the stronger dragoon style units. You know, much faster firing. But here come the Black Riders. I'm sure Soldier, once he sees Black Riders, he's thinking, well, I'm not beating those units. The GG has been called. Lecastete. He's up to 4-0. Best of 7. And Lecastete wins the TakkCafe semi-final number 2. Congratulations to Tet. Played a very stellar series there. A lot of kind of that boomy play. Also focusing on the European civs. So Lecastete winning with the Dutch, the French, the Germans, and the Portuguese. Soldier trying his hand at Lakota twice, but then having to play a little bit of the British as well. So we saw a bit of civ variety this series. It was nice to see. But I'm sure a lot of you do like your European civs at the same time, but Lecastete playing very, very well. Favourite game obviously has to be the Dutch versus British or Malaysia, because yeah, it involves Dutch. But if I was being objective, I think the Florida game was really, really good there. Did Soldier play Dutch? He didn't. I know, it's surprising. Dutch is one of Soldier's strongest civs, and I think actually a Dutch on Florida could work very, very well there. Early market, a lot of coin treasures, has potential. But Soldier may have been preparing anti-water with that British civ there. You see how he went for that, what was it? The early 2 Caravel plus Dock plus Caravel trains to combat water, like the classic give you anxiety 3 Caravel rush, as we call it in the trade. But Lecastete was on top of his game today. He knew how to deal with that. 4-0, marching on to the final versus Maito. And on that performance, and on Maito's performance, with all due respect, I think we have a close series. Advantage, Lecastete.